What's going on, everyone? How y'all doing? This is BMT coming at you again. I thought I done heard it all. I thought I did. I thought I did until I saw. Can you hear me? I know y'all can hear me now. Shout out to T Black, Shar coming in first. Dog Stray. Shout out to Faith, the Faith Factor. I thought I done heard it all. Y'all can do me a favor, share the video. We need to have a discussion. I I done seen it all, y'all. I even after everything that came out, hell, I even had somebody came in my comments from the quick little rant, I did on R. Kelly. Somebody said, "Do you even know why R. Kelly is charged?" And I was like, "My God, the R. Kelly Defense Force is in full effect." Well, you dumb motherfucker. He got charged for racketeering. Racketeering also involves purchasing and buying illegal, because buying sex from minors is illegal. But you know, I swear to you, you don't. The R. Kelly Defense Force is in full effect. Oh my God, I'm stuttering. That's how bad these dudes had me going all day long. But I was like, Jesus Christ. If y'all Negroes fought this hard for y'all children the way y'all fight for R. Kelly, my God, where would we be today? So now I'm seeing in the chat, well, BMT, the consenting age in this state, and technically BMT, a 17-year-old has the right to consent. No, no, no. I don't know where y'all think y'all can go that a 17-year-old in high school or anywhere, a 17-year-old still has to get a 17-year-old still has to get an adult's permission. We got people in the chat. 17-year-old has to get adult's permission or a signed signature to join the military. Can't You can't sell a 17-year-old cigarettes. You can't sell a 17-year-old alcohol. I mean, if you want to run with getting an apartment, I could give you that. But when you have it where are arguing, men are arguing about being able to have the right to sleep with a 17 and 16-year-old. My God, I might have to divest. I might have to acquiesce the fuck out. Because when y'all are trying to run me talking points on being able to sleep with minors, I know you're fucked up. Well, the law says, bitch, the law also says thou will go to jail. So you telling me you have men more frantic about being able to sleep with underage girls? Ladies in the chat, is a 17-year-old still considered a girl to y'all? Let me know. The majority of the women I know, when they hear of a 17-year-old young lady, what do y'all quickly say? Oh, that's a girl. That's a girl. I've never seen this. I mean, honestly, this is some Madagascar shit. But you have it where men are saying, well, in the state of Georgia, the consenting age is 16. So you're telling me, this is why I worry. This is why I'm saying I don't I don't get it. So where y'all picking these 16 and 17-year-olds up at, bro? They're after school jobs. Where y'all picking them up from school? Huh? Where y'all picking up these young chickadees? Y'all sick fucks. Why why are such educated men, as y'all say y'all are, why are y'all even entertaining that? Y'all get mad. So let me get this straight. Good point, Jay. So y'all bitch and complain about having to pay child support for a child till they're 18 or 21. Y'all bitch about that, but y'all are fighting to sleep with said child because they are consenting. Make it make sense, you dumb motherfuckers. Because you're the same breath or the same sentence, you're talking about, hey, you know, why do I have to pay child support for this goddamn child? They should come live with me. Now in the back of my fucking mind, I'm like, wait, the same person saying that a young adult adolescent should come live with them, but then you're in the chat arguing that, hey, that these 17-year-old and these 16-year-old young girls in the consenting right age, they want to get dug out. This is the talking points. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out, where does the madness stop? Where does it stop? Why do I see people in the chat arguing about consent with a minor? Well, they're 18. They're 19. So where can you take an 18-year-old at night? I'm just saying, man. I'm like, some of y'all be pushing the envelope. You do know in pornography, they literally had to up the age to 21. The girls may say they're 18, but a lot of them girls are predominantly they're 21 and older. They just look it. They're not actually 18. But it's always interesting, and you want to know what's so bad about it? They find out the most looked at pornography is older men with girls that look like young underage minors. Why is that the most looked at pornography? What can you do with an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, or 16-year-old? Anything with teens, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to figure out what can y'all get out of these teenagers so damn much. This is why I know this space ain't shit, and I don't give a fuck what any of y'all say anymore. Because you can't sell me y'all bullshit ass dream. I had a man that literally jumped in my last stream. I think you're just doing this for views. Do you even understand why R. Kelly got in trouble? Motherfucker, are you running the R. Kelly defense force, you dumb bitch? He got charged for racketeering. He was trafficking minors. Racketeering is more than just drugs. It's trafficking of something. He was trafficking people and was bragging about it, you dumb fucker. Them girls wanted to be there. Well, you know what I'm going to say? Your child wants to be with their mom. They don't want to be with you. Ha 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 ha. I'm starting to understand why some of your kids should not be with y'all. I am really starting to understand why some of y'all do not need your fucking kids. It is very, very, very much apparent. I'm saying, I get the courts are fucked up, but I'm starting to understand that mindset of that judge. Because when you having it where some men are arguing, and I mean, let's be real. I've seen men jump on on my panel and argue with me about sleeping with girls of consenting 17, 18, and doggone 16-year-old. Like, we're not gonna lie. Like, everybody in my chat, please type one if you have seen men jump in my panel and argue about sleeping with minors. Please put one in the chat. Because I know maybe BMT be making this shit up. But I'm just saying, I've had more arguments with men argue with me about sleeping with minors. But nobody tends to want to say, God damn, this motherfucker is serious. And please let me know, have we not seen men come into the chat to argue about, hey man, so long as the state says it's consent, I'm not breaking the law. And it was so crazy. It was so crazy. My heart was hurting because I could not even, because what was so bad, those men, they weren't trolling. They actually believed in their heart and mind. That's why I know R. Kelly. That's why R. Kelly's confused. He's like, yo, I'm not the only one. Oh, right, Robert, sure. You left your bastard sons. You left your bastard sons here in the community with us. That's why a lot of these dudes be talking about going to overseas, the countries where they know they can talk to consenting young age minors. That's why a lot of countries do not want men from America in their country. Because R. Kelly, he said, I don't see nothing wrong. And I can understand why a lot of his actors, like, they don't see nothing wrong with, hey, so long as she consented, and hey, baby, how old are you? Oh, you got a job at Nike? You got a job at Foot Locker? Are you of consenting age? Surely I can talk to you. These motherfuckers are serious, bro. They don't have no shame. And I know there's gonna be some bitch ass motherfucker that's gonna show up and say, well, if the mothers allow the father, well, hold up, dude. You're talking about being a father, but then you're talking about sleeping with an underage minor. I wish I could voice record that shit and throw it up at the courthouse judge and say, this is what this mother and child will may have to deal with. Please keep them from this piece of shit. I had a man on a panel said, you mean to tell me a multi-millionaire like R. Kelly would go after children? I can't believe that. Motherfucker, are you serious? But then y'all like to brag about y'all rather fuck and pay for young girls. It's all a symbolism of control to these types of men. It's all about control. It's all about domination. It's all about having a woman that cannot push back. It's never been about building a family. It's never been about structure. It's never been about societal development. This is about sexual gratification, about being able to fuck without any type of repercussion, any young thing, so long as they could say they were the first one to climb on top of that young adolescent. That's what this shit is about. Keyword, thank you, Yola. I'm a flirt. Listen to a lot of his fucking songs. I'm a flirt. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Age ain't nothing but another. My God, if that ain't the goddamn soundtrack to molestation, I don't know what the fuck anybody's talking about anymore. If any motherfucker has the audacity to play an R. Kelly soundtrack around anybody, listen, bro, no DJ in their right fucking mind, no self, no self-respecting DJ in their right fucking mind at any popping function would ever play R. Kelly. Because they know damn well the uneasy feeling those songs cause now. But when you have it, nobody. But when you have it where people want to sing and tap dance to his song and say, yeah, the man, and you know the thing about it was he wasn't just interested in little girls. He was down, they came out, to find it out. He was also interested in young men. So when you had young men coming out saying, yo, like I did some things to get R. Kelly to exactly Queen. R. Kelly didn't give a fuck who he was fucking. And I'm starting to believe these same men that be arguing about, well, sex dolls, consenting age, obedience, suffrage. Listen, man, anybody that starts saying certain trigger words, y'all, we gotta just kick them the fuck off the panel, bro. We gotta just kick them the fuck off the panel. Like after a while, man, like it's like, and I'm not saying everybody's like that, but these people are starting to really feel emboldened. He will really feel emboldened. Same motherfuckers that like talking about single mothers are the same motherfuckers that be trying to fuck the single mother and her goddamn daughters. Same motherfuckers. Same motherfuckers. You gotta understand, if you hate something so much, why is that always at the tip of your tongue to always talk about? I know this for a fact. I've seen it, bro. Why do you think the circular conversations are always about single mothers and their daughters, about their looks, their self-esteem, about what they say, what they do, about them being obedient? Listen, y'all, these motherfuckers want control of easy targets. It's no secret. A lot of these sick fuckers think that single mothers are easy targets. They think that their young daughters are easy targets. They think that, hey, I just have to give them money and they'll shut the fuck up and lay on their back for me. And they will be obedient. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this world is fucked up and real. And these type of men are saying, I'm not like Pookie. I'm trying to fix and heal the community. Back in the, you know what? When a motherfucker starts talking about back in the day, when they talk about back in the day when certain people didn't have the right to say no to sex, see, that's why they like talking about back in the day. Back in the day when you can drink, beat your wife, go fuck another woman down the street, and if your wife says something about it again, beat her ass again. That's why these motherfuckers always. I said, yo, god damn it. Why y'all motherfuckers always like talking about the 1940s, 1930s, back then with Jesus? Y'all like throwing out so many goddamn scriptures and shit. Yeah, man, back in the day when a woman knew how to shut the fuck up, or you could backhand her and you could go down the street and see what Jesse Joe made. You know, women, listen, bro. Okay, I get it. You're talking from indoctrination 101. So let me start talking about, well, back in the day when a white man used to beat your ass and string you up on a tree and you couldn't talk back. See, you don't like those conversations. I never understood what is this infatuation with submission and doggone putting somebody under your fucking heel. I never understand this sick, fucked up fetish, bro. But these people want to have control so badly that they would go all the way down to talking about consent because they know damn well that those young adolescents who cannot consent do not have the capacity to really say no. So this is why a lot of these motherfuckers are mad that certain people are now starting to get the strength to go to court and say, yo, this older creepy motherfucker keeps coming to my job and keeps trying to send me dick pics, say all kind of weird shit, and keeps on saying he wants to fuck me. See, I'm happy. See, I'm happy now. And I want you motherfuckers to understand it. I want y'all to see my eyes. BMT, yeah, BMT, the AKA whatever you want to call me, I'm happy that a lot of you motherfuckers, men and you piece of shit women, are getting caught and going to jail. Because if y'all want to go after consenting young adults, which does not exist, a young adult, a minor cannot consent. A minor cannot consent. When y'all say, hey, you want to sit in my car and smoke some weed? You want to have something to drink? Hmm? You want to come to my apartment and sleep in my house? Get caught by a police officer and say that same shit that you learned on the stupid tube and say, this person is a consenting adult. And they say, yeah, get your ass in the car. That's statutory. But see, y'all, some of these people believe this shit. That's why I'm so weary when you start hearing motherfuckers start to say that crazy shit. Hide your kids, y'all. Hide your kids. When they say that they want to leave the community, say thank you, goodbye. Jay, so many of these YouTubers been caught. Like, my God, at this point, this is why me and you just sit our asses down at the table and we don't say shit no more. Because at this point, y'all, I think God was just trying to take out all the R. Kelly disciples with COVID. He just didn't get everyone. But God, just throw the next wave at them. Hopefully, we can get them. Motherfuckers think that the white man is going after R. Kelly. That's why this is all coming out. When I say that the nigga conspiracies are coming out in full effect, these niggas know more about the R. Kelly trial, but of course we know you niggas were watching the DVD and studying that shit. Y'all, I don't understand. Why the mental fucking Olympics for this motherfucker? Y'all was so psyched up. And you know what's so bad? We done seen them like this with R. Kelly, Marcus Houston, Little Boosie. Who else were they cracking jokes about? There were other men that y'all know that every time an older man gets with a young girl that's barely at the age of consent, these men get excited. Why are men excited for girls who are barely legal? Why? Why? At at a real man's table, I would be looking at that man like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why'd you bring that? Why'd you bring that young thing around? She's a child. Oh, thank you about that, brother Sean. Prince. Oh, Prince. Yep. Prince had Prince groomed that child. Prince's wife was groomed. He took her, had her stay with him. Foxy Brown. I don't know how many young girls in the industry. Like the whole industry to me is trash. I'm just saying what it is. It is trash. It is. Motherfuckers are crying and mourning that of R. Kelly. How could sexual rapey Jesus, how could he go down? Black women and the white man have teamed up and took away y'all prophetic Messiah from y'all. And I'm only saddened they didn't get y'all too. Like I said, that's why that's why R. Kelly was confused when he was like, wait, I'm not the only black man in the building that does this. That's why R. Kelly was confused. You see, you gotta y'all gotta understand. This is why I don't get it. Listen, I want y'all to really, but don't worry, I had some R. Kelly music. I did. I did have it. But I can't no longer, after knowing, when you actually know the meaning behind some of the shit, can you still fuck with it? Or do you choose to ignore it? Y'all, when you have it, now, let me ask a grown woman here. Okay.
Yes.
What do women call uh 18, 17, and 16-year-old? Do they call that a woman or a girl?
A girl.
Are you sure?
A
You
girl
make
or a young woman.
a young woman.
But a young woman more specifically would mean if someone says a young woman, that's usually 18 to 21, honestly. I know Queen of the South probably, I don't know, you tell me too, because I feel like somebody would call a girl that's under 18, but if they're like 18 to 21, you will call them a young woman specifically.
Now, we're trying to figure this out. Because listen, y'all, the times that I've been growing up in, I've even seen older men say young lady.
Yeah.
But they say
Usually, and even if they say, if an older man, like, so let's say like my father or something, like now that I'm in my 40s, he might not say it so much, but when I was younger, like when I was in my 20s, he would be like, you and those young ladies that you hang out with. And he wasn't saying it as like a disrespectful thing, just because we were young. You know, like I feel like once you're under, if you're under 30, you're still kind of like in the young lady realm.
you're still in your development. You're still in your
Right.
development. And so now,
And I know
Jay,
I've said this time and time again, but at least for me, I kind of feel like if I could have birthed you, I can't fuck you.
now
Like,
listen, Jay, listen. I feel like everybody should have a age stipulation on them. Like, listen, man, like listen, if you don't even know, if you can't even remember 9/11, why am I talking to you? If you can't remember,
man, listen,
if you wasn't,
if you
go
can't
ahead.
remember where you were when Biggie died, you're too young.
Thank you, thank you. If you can't talk to me about Back to the Future or Jurassic Park or any of them damn shit, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like if I show you the It Clown, and you're like, who was that? Like that Bozo? I'm like, no, no. Let's stop talking. Let's just stop. Like at this point, this is what I'm saying. Like, what now, Jay? Let me. I'm not give it over to Jay on this. Jay, if the state law says the age of consent is 16, will that give you a pass, or you're fucked?
My daughter's 14.
Mhm.
She's in high school. Um, I would say for the sake of this, I'll say this just for the sake of conversation. I don't believe she has had sex yet. However, I always felt like that quote unquote age of consent kind of applied to high school kids. So, meaning she's a freshman in high school. And if she was like with a senior in high school, let's say he was like 17, even if he was 18, it's kind of like they went to the same school. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying. Like in the realm of high schoolers, and then even that, we're letting y'all know right now because there's a reason why California had that bill passed, which I still don't agree with on some stuff. But they had that bill passed because you could have a freshman, right, have sex with a senior or somebody who just graduated, and that could be considered statutory because
Right. And
like
to me, I don't and to me, it's like if they were peers, like I said, even if she granted she's 14, even if they were peers, I mean, to me, and I'm kind of a progressive parent anyway, but to me, like I wouldn't go forward with a prosecution on that. Because obviously it's like they met in high school. They went to the same school, they were in the same art class or whatever the case may be. Like that wouldn't be totally, I don't think that's necessarily that creepy.
now let me use this. If it's a guy 23, 24, a few of the young girls, they're sophomores in high school, but hey, the age of consent is
I was a
15.
senior in high school and I was fucking with a 25-year-old. And I graduated high school when I was 17. Looking back, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? And see, this is where it comes into the play as far as the maturity of a male. And I said this in the chat where I was like, Granted, maybe some quote unquote fat, and I'm saying fast very loosely because, anyway, maybe it was some quote unquote fast young girl that wanted to fuck R. Kelly. Maybe it was. Maybe it was some girl that lied about her age. Maybe. But you, as the adult, should have stopped that shit right in its tracks. And yes, people do lie about their age. That is true. That is fair. However, like I said, at this point in my life, would be certain dead giveaways. Again, it's no way that somebody's gonna lie about their age and, like you said, not know where they were when Biggie died, or not know where they were when September 11th happened. Or you start doing the math on certain events and you're like, nah, for real, how old are you? You know what I mean? So
no, I get you. I feel you on that.
So
Like,
with
that's
that
what I'm
being
saying.
said, you as the mature person, like I said, I was like 16, 17-year-old fucking with a 25-year-old. Looking back, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look back and be like, what the fuck? Why was this dude? Why did he even want me? And then at 17, to me, like, he was giving me money to get my nails done. He was taking me out for lunch, stuff like that. So at 17, that's kind of like a big deal. Now you look at it, it's like, huh, you little creepy motherfucker.
Now, shout out to Khalees. Thank you for letting us know that. And I'm going to tell you right now, a senior and a freshman isn't cool. My friend was sprayed on by a senior as a 13-year-old
Yeah, I
freshman.
wasn't saying it was cool. I
No,
was
no,
just.
no. Let me say this, and I'm going to tell you right now. Naivety is one of the most sought after drugs.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it was cool. All I was saying was, and like I said, maybe that's why I said it might have came off like weird, but I wasn't necessarily saying it was cool. What I'm saying is they were peers in the same school. So it's a bigger chance. And I'm not saying predators don't exist in high school. They do. Trust me, I know that too. But what I'm saying is, in general, there also have been situations where it was like a freshman, like I said, and maybe she had art class or something, or maybe they played on the same, on a sports team or whatever together, and they got close that way. I'm not talking about that other shit.
One of the things about it, right, was, and I will say this, that some of the doggone women that I knew in high school, right? A lot of the young guys knew, if I have a car, I have some money, I can buy them some K Swiss. I'm showing some age. So if I can buy you some K Swiss or Felines or Reeboks, see, Nike wasn't the shit back in the day.
So if
You
you
had
had
some
the Rees, the
yeah, you had
Rees.
the Reeboks, you had the Adidas. You were somebody. You had a tracksuit, you had a kangaroo hat, the Izod. Now you would buy now, but here's the thing about it. Young girls who came from certain type of economic backgrounds were easier to pick off because nobody wants to look or have to wear the same two pair of jeans over and over. So if you could get with a guy who has some bread and he can get you some earrings.
I mean, I was in high school during the height of the of like the drug epidemic. So,
I'm
you know
just
what
saying,
I mean?
so you get what I'm saying. So understand this, like, I've
You would
seen
see
it.
dudes all the time coming to pick up their girlfriends that didn't go to school there, pulling up in all kind BMWs, Mercedes, all kinds of shit. And I did not live in a rich neighborhood, so do the math yourself. This is what I'm saying, and none of these dudes were in high school.
Like,
That was your local drug dealer, or whatever.
right, like, understand, like, I'm trying to, we trying to tell y'all, man, like, on everything, like, I'm gonna say this. I knew shit how real shit was when at the military ball. I know some of y'all remember the military ball at school. Goddamn, the motherfuckers had goddamn facial hair and chest hair, and I was looking at myself like, what the fuck, man? How am I supposed to compete with El Chapo over there. This nigga done pulled up in a goddamn Honda with speakers and shit. He gonna get all the goddamn honey. I knew what time it was, but goddamn it, you know what happened? The goddamn shout out to the goddamn the master chief, um, our military, the RTC chief. He said, you gotta get the fuck out. I know you, dude. You work at the
You
goddamn
graduated 4 years ago.
exactly. He was like, yo, dude, you gotta get the fuck out. Wait, I was here. Like the girl was really arguing. That's my date. That's my date. No, no, baby. That man works with me on second and third shift. He got to get the fuck out. He literally said it just like that. You got to get the fuck out.
But even when I used to go, so when I was in college, I used to go to, there was an 18 and over club that we would go to. And we would always come home drunk. Ask me why, Joe.
Why did you come home drunk?
Because men that were over 21 were there and more than willing to buy drinks for 18-year-old girls. And a lot of them were not like, oh, I turned 21 yesterday. A lot of these dudes were like 24, 25, 26 years old. Again, it's funny when do you see certain age? Once I hit, especially the closer I got to 30, I didn't want to, once I turned 21, why the fuck would I want to be in an 18 and over bar?
Listen, I'm tired. This is why y'all don't understand the play. This is why me and Jared, listen, man, this is why it's easy to go after the
And yes, do women do it too? Yes, women do it too. Because somebody's gonna come on. Women do it too. Women do it too. But it is not nearly like how men do it.
Understand this, y'all, and I'm being for real. You know why consensual people are more sought after and easier to get? Because they can't get the shit. So guess who they have to go to? They have to go to that person that can get it easy. Buying beer, buying cigarettes, buying stuff in the ABC store. Listen, I remember when I was all going 2022, there would be young honeys. Hey, they'd be out there, little young chickies. They'd be out there. Hey, can you buy me and my friend, like Mad Dog 40? Mad Dog 40? That's that little kid shit. Girl, drink some goddamn E&J. What's E&J? Oh shit, let me go get y'all some of that. But then after a while, I'm like, oh fuck. I
Right.
just gave these
You
young
realize
chickies.
it's problematic when you get older. That's the thing about
Right.
it. Like,
After a while, when you get older, like, yo, like, after a while, like, my homeboy's like, yo, bro, like, those girls, those are 15-year-olds. Like, I'm like, yo, y'all can't come around us no more, bro. You can't come around us. I'm saying, and this is the real reality. Understand this, motherfuckers. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. That's why consensual people, that's why people who cannot consent, because when they get the easy bait and shit. Hey, I got some weed for y'all. I got some
right, they know
alcohol.
what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Right. They know exactly what they're doing.
It's all about baiting. It's all about having one girl you put on tell the other girls, hey, if we go to goddamn Mr. Tommy's house, guess what? We can get X, Y, and Z. But however, listen, you can't tell what happened at Tommy's house. That's what always happens. They always tell you, don't tell what happens inside the house.
Right. Right,
Don't
but
tell what goes
that's the
on.
thing. Unfortunately, with a younger girl, woman, lady, when they're younger, I mean, even I'll be honest with you, even as a poor broke college student, when I was like 19, 20, I had older guys coming after me. And it was still kind of, again, I'm living in the dorms. They got their own place, they got a job, this and that. And I'm like, well, damn. But then when again, when you start looking in the mirror and you start looking back, you get to the age, no, I'm not saying I'm that old, I am, but I'm not. You get to the age and you start reflecting back, like you sitting there like, what the fuck? Why did this dude even want to talk to me?
You was a mark. You was easy. And I'm sad. And the thing about it is, listen, y'all. It's a very vicious game. It's a very vicious game. I'll never forget that there was a girl at goddamn Bojangles. She walked up there and literally she started throwing all the shit and tearing up the stuff. And I remember the dude earlier. He was with us at the dumpster. That's where the Burger King, the Sonics, and the Bojangle niggas. We would all meet there. And he was talking about how he had sex with this girl. The girl came to the store and said, "Yo, my nigga, you got me drunk and you fucked me up. You fucked me up." And so when these people come to it, it may not hit them then. It may not hit them that week. But later on, in Jay's mind, when she's sitting down and she probably even had a kitchen, like, yo, that was statutory what happened to me. That was assault.
Mm-hmm.
I was just too afraid to say anything.
Which
Or
is
maybe
why, I know that's another defense. Why did they wait so long to come forward? That was a big thing with Cosby and all of that. Like, why did they wait so long to come forward? Well, because sometimes you start thinking about it and you start realizing, like, damn, that shit wasn't right. Like, I just came to the realization a few years ago about me getting raped in high school. And I was just like, wait a minute, that shit didn't add, 2 plus 2 equaled 5. Like, that shit didn't add up. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it takes years to come to that realization that, damn, this person did this, this, and this to me. And no, I didn't really consent. Coercion is not consent either. When men sit there, it's like, come on, let me just put the tip in. I know people joke about it, but that is a real thing. Like, let me just put the tip in. Oh, let me just kiss it. Let me just, whatever, whatever, whatever. Like, that's rape.
stealth is rape. Stealth is rape. Y'all gotta understand this, y'all. Like, understand this. There was a faculty teacher that had been there for over 20 plus years that had had sex with quite a few young girls. The girls got older. Same faculty teacher was now having sex with their girls. One of the women mothers found out and said, "Hold up, that's my kid." So she asked around who else had sex with this said
I think I
teacher.
heard about this.
And guess what happened? Other women started saying, "Yo, we did." So he got brought up on charges because he was having sex with
Wasn't
minors.
this dude like a pastor or something?
I think that was the past. I think that was the pastor. Yeah, that was, excuse me, it was the pastor. He was having sex with the women, and then he
But
was
you're
having
right. He
sex
was
with the,
having sex with the girl years prior. He was having sex with them when they were young girls, and then they had children of their own, and then they started. So he started having sex with the young girl, the children or
and
girl.
guess what?
I say children. I'm saying this, and I'm not saying it sticking up for anyone. When I say children, I mean I think they was like when they became quote unquote old enough, probably 13, and they
Right,
started getting developed.
but see, they were able. The young girls were able to say. The women were saying, "Yo, he's been doing this to us for a while." So when people say, "Whoa, that literally that shouldn't be allowed," like that limitation, no, no, no. Some people they don't listen. Everybody have different ranges of being able to. If that's the case, then y'all need to shut the fuck up about reparations. Then or shut the
HT
fuck.
Bald, HT Bald just said, I just dealt with being molested 30 years ago, 2 years ago. It hits you when it hits you. Yeah, it does. And usually it hits you when you do start seeing other stories about other people and then you start thinking back like, wait a minute. Damn. I remember that time when such and such, or I was in so and so's kitchen and this happened. That's usually what happens.
Now I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna say this. And Sean, you bring up something. There were now. Here's the thing about it. You do have it where there are men in the picture around. You do have men that are in the church. The pastor still does what he do. You still have fathers that go to their kids' practice for volleyball or
And
gymnastics.
why is that always the answer to everything? Oh, there's no
And
father. What does A have to do with B? Sometimes
and
it's the
it's better
damn father.
Now, a predator is going to do what a predator does. A predator is going to do what a predator does.
And not
Okay.
only that, and I lived in a house with both of my parents. My parents were
So,
married. My parents were married until my mother died.
so
You
the thing
know,
about it,
they
right?
both worked. So, I had free time after school.
Is
Let's not, it's not always, and I hate that. That's another bullshit ass talking point. Oh, well, where are their fathers? At work.
like understand. Right,
Keeping a roof over their head.
here's the thing about it for a lot of y'all. Most of the time, a lot of households seem like they're single parent households because one parent is majority of the time working while the other one is majority of the time hands on with the children. So by the time the other parent gets that, guess what? They're like, yo, like if nobody's dead, nobody's bleeding, I don't have to go to the hospital. You handle that shit. Just
Pretty much.
let me know if the
There's
motherfucker
there's snack there's snacks in the freezer, like
is there
um
pot pie cooked or some shit. You know,
right. Like my mom, and then by the time I was like a junior in high school, my mother was working two jobs. So my mother was working two jobs, and then my father, and don't get me wrong, I had a great life. I lived in a house, I lived in the suburbs, we went on vacation, all that shit. So I ain't sitting here talking about I had some kind of like, fucked up childhood. But what I'm saying is, you know, my mother had worked two jobs near my junior year of high school because she wanted to make sure I went to college. And then my father he had always worked two jobs off and on, even when I was younger. He had always, because like I said, they like going on vacation and they like to play and they like to do extra things. So that's why both of them kind of always worked all these hours. So then as I got older, he not only did he work two jobs, he might have been working. I know there was one point where he was working like a second shift job. So he wasn't coming home until like 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes. So, when you in high school, all the dirt is done between 2 and 5 o'clock.
exactly. Teenagers know when the fuck to get their ass back in that damn house for the most part.
You're damn right.
So understand this, like you guys, I'm telling a lot of y'all, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and 18-year-old, they can't consent for the most part. They just can't. I don't give a fuck if y'all working at the same job. That's just not gonna work in court. I don't know. Me and Jay will tell you how many times from New England all the way down here to the South, it don't work. Y'all can say, "Well, this state says this." Yeah, but that judge, when
18
this,
is 18 is 18 and 8 is 18. Like, yeah, you can say in certain, and you're right. We sat, and I think I had to slide off that panel that day because I was just like, I can't take this shit. But folks was literally sitting on your panel arguing about what states and what the age is and how, and even 18. I'm sorry, like I said, even if a girl is 18, if you 25, 26, what the fuck are you doing with an 18-year-old? 5 or 6, when you're in your 20s, 5 or 6 years makes a difference. Once you hit 30, 5 or 6 years ain't a big difference. Like right now, my boyfriend is 5 years older than me. It don't really make a difference. I'm sure back in 1994, if I dated him, it would have made a difference.
but see, the thing about it is, and this is why I want you to understand this. And this is why I know where these talking points are coming from. Listen, man, I'm an 80s, born in the crack baby era, man. I understood that some people were so desperate for just, hey, I understand that. Listen, man, even sometimes I have to fight the single mother fetish. I will talk about it later. The single mother fetish because they know that literally those type of women, they're out there, they've had sex, that they seem an easy mark because guess what? They have needs for financial. Understand? Listen, most women understand that when a guy knows that they're a single mother, people can try to say on YouTube and all that dumb shit. Nobody's going after them. That's a fucking lie. If anything, they go even harder after them if they're more easier.
I literally saw, this is slightly off topic, but not totally. I literally saw a post the other day from a guy who he's very in shape. It looks like he takes his health and fitness very seriously. Yay for him. And he was upset because, you know, anybody that's familiar with Tinder, Facebook dating, and all that, you click, basically it's kind of random to a certain extent. He was upset because some woman had liked his picture and she was not, let's just say, the epitome of traditional beauty. You know, she was overweight, whatever. And he was going on and on and on, more or less, as to how dare she like me and this and that and the third. And it was funny because some of the comments from men actually were like, let's not act like there aren't healthy, fit, in shape dudes that don't fuck with big chicks. He's like, that's not true. It's like, whoa, yes, the fuck it is. So, you know, I'm just saying that in regards to the single mother thing, when people try to act like, oh, a certain type of man isn't going to want a single mother. Again, once you get to a certain age, that shit is just that shit don't matter. Don't nobody care about that stuff.
Never thought my dick. So what about
And that's
now?
what I'm saying. The same thing with, in the point I was making it to this dude when he was trying to make it sound as if what I look like wanting her. There are plenty of muscle bound dudes that like big women.
Understand this. This is the reason why. And see, I will say this: a lot of, and this is something that's very see when it's just women living together with each other, they're a lot more freer. They don't wear bras. Sometimes they don't care to wear drawers. They just walk around in their goddamn nightgowns and shit. I've heard the myths. I
Mind
read
your business. Mind your
I,
business.
I read Reader's Digest and fucking get.
Listen, my dude has been going away for work for 3 weeks.
So that don't mean you ain't supposed to wear drawers around the house and shit.
I live alone, so.
Uh, But see, nevertheless, what what happens is a mother has to tell her daughter, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, blow your brakes. There are men coming around the house." But mom, no. That in that mother's mind, sometimes she has to understand. Listen, though he's dating me, his nature sometimes might overtake him to go after the younger, more naive young thing. I know some of y'all go say, that's not true. I'm a fucking man. I'm a fucking man. Don't tell me my fucking nature. That is why, as a man, you know, we used to tell young girls, cover up,
Yeah.
put some clothes on. Maybe
But,
that's
you
it.
know, you never, and even in school, they tell girls to cover up, but they never tell the boys to cover up. And
But see,
that's a
listen,
whole other different
I try to
conversation.
tell young boy, like, okay, so like, if I see a young boy getting too aroused, I know some of the young boys when they be roughhousing and play fighting with the girls, sometimes it happens. They get aroused. I'm being real with y'all. I usually let them know, hey, calm down, y'all. Y'all boys come over here. Hey, fix your pants. Go over there.
Yeah, that's
Well,
like a hormone, but it's like a hormonal thing.
but see,
But I think,
I
but
have to let them
girls
know.
get aroused too. They just, it's not obvious.
But I'm saying that. I'm saying this. I have to tell teachers. Listen, you know what I'm saying? I have to tell teachers. Listen, ma'am, I get it. Oh, I love my students. I love they're such young. Understand? They may be young boys, but those are still up and coming men. Understand? We don't want no issues and
How can
stuff.
I put it? There's levels to it. I'll just say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
there's
I told
levels
you.
to it.
Thank you, Mama Rain. My sons had to wear a shirt even in the house. Like the thing about it is, some things you have to teach and reiterate to your children. Like as my daughters are getting older.
Yeah.
Back then,
And
when
I
my
think,
kids
like,
were
at
young,
least in the case of my daughter, it's like, she was in the house for a long time with her dad and her brother. So it was like she was always just around men. So I think she subconsciously always, I never really had to actually tell her to cover up,
right?
if that makes sense. Like, I
No,
never
no,
actually had to tell
I
her
get
to
what you're
cover up.
saying. I get what you're saying. Just like I had to tell I made sure I told my sons, hey, when you're back then when they were all babies, all right, y'all, we're changing. Get out of y'all swimming clothes. They all just take off their clothes and throw it down on the floor and just walk off naked into their room. Now they're older now. Oh, what y'all doing? Stop, stop, stop. What? We always know y'all are grown now. Now that they're older, y'all go in your rooms.
I mean, even now, like, and it was just me and her in the house. And like, I walked in on her by mistake. Like, I wasn't even being like, the nosy asshole parent. I didn't know she was getting
No,
dressed. Not right. And I'm like, girl,
I put you out, nigga. The fuck you thought?
right. So I think some of it is just by nature. You kind of, like I said, but at the same time, my kid also likes anime t-shirts. So she doesn't really have if anything, she's trying more hard to cover up more so than like walk around half naked. So,
But see, the thing, y'all, we got, and that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. We know we got to start being aware. And the thing about it is, I know I came hard. I mean,
Walter, that is true. You are right, and I do tend to disagree with you a lot, but I do. I agree with you there. You're right. It wasn't talked about like that in
it
the
wasn't talked
70s,
about.
80s, and
I think
90s.
it was one of those things where and this is that, and that, and also I gotta agree that definitely set us back. That set us back.
Right. And that's what I don't know if you were here
Don't,
earlier,
don't
Walter.
talk about sex.
Right. I don't know if you were here earlier, Walter. So I graduated high school in 1996, which is, obviously the height of the crack cocaine drug epidemic and all that. And I used to see males of a certain age, definitely over the age of 18, picking girls up from high school that were not their fathers and uncles and brothers in cars and went to their own places, this, that, and the third. So, and like you said, back then you might have thought, oh, he got a car. Oh, he got his own place. Oh, he got money. It was like a flex. Now it's like, ugh, you know.
I understand this.
But yeah, it was talked about in my home too. Kaylee's, my
Not
mother
mine.
had me on birth control when I was 16. She was like, she was not trying to be nobody's grandmother.
Not
So
mine. All
she
that we talked about was Jesus, 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 and then how the babies come. Jesus. How do how people made Jesus? How what does this mean if my body is doing this? Jesus. Oh my God! Like what? What is anything? Jesus, 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 Jesus. I don't know why. I was like, God,
But somebody's trying to break in. Jesus.
right? No, I'm just like, God, dang it, like shit. So whenever certain stuff like nudity class came up, and they're like, Joe, look, oh Jesus. Okay, so I'm
No,
like,
you know what? I would like to consider that my parents, well, especially my mother more so than my father, she was more of a realist. You got a lot of parents out there. Oh, my kid would never do that. My kid would never do that. Those were typically the kids that did that. You know.
well, said,
Whereas my mother was more of a realist. She was like, you may or may not be having sex, but I will put you on birth control just in case. You know.
you gotta understand. And I mean, we're just talking and telling y'all that yeah, like it's just one of those realistic things that we have to be aware of. Now I know a lot of y'all men. I would come hard at y'all because I'm a man, and as men, there there are some things we cannot, should not, and we are not going to keep on entertaining. And when we hear certain stuff being said, that's like That's like where I've seen where some women, when they see a woman of their supposedly caliber, is trying to holler at a young little fawn thing or some young, say, "Oh, that's a boy." They call him a boy. No, he's my man. No, girl, that's a boy. Come on now. What can he do for you like my man Richard can? Keyword. Look how they
Yep.
throw the jabs at. What can he do for you? My man Richard can do. I
So then
watched
here's a question
him
for
do
you.
that shit,
Here's
Keisha.
a question for you then. I'm gonna throw this into the mix then. Do you feel that part right there, like you said, when girls like, oh, he's just a boy, he don't have no job, all of that stuff. Do you think that affected men's self esteem, and that's part of the reason why they might be the way they are now?
Yes, because and I'm gonna explain why. Because I felt like that at one time, but I dated a 44-year-old when I was young, and I felt like she kept sunning me every fucking time I wanted to be the dominant, but I could never out dominate her, even though she was older than me, but I kept feeling like I was always under her.
Yeah, no,
So
I know
if it
exactly what you mean. I dated a man
so
that was 10 years older than me, and it was like kind of the same way. He was, well, yeah, like
so
11 years older than me. It was like the
right,
same way.
so it's a
Yep.
sunning type of feeling that some people they're fine with that shit. I'm not. I don't like it. I don't like it when you keep on using that age platform. Oh, you're too young to understand. Well, this is before your time, or this and that. And
Right.
I'm like, then why the if I'm this is all this shit before my time? Why are you talking to me, nigga? Why you talking to my age?
Right.
And that's
That's why I
exactly what I
think
said to her.
that's
I'm
why I think
fucking up.
probably ideally like 4 to 5 years either way is probably the most ideal way to go. Like just being real. Like you know what I mean? Like 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 or 7 years is probably the more ideal way to go just for that simple fact. But then like I feel like now I'm at that age I could probably date the daddy or the son, you know.
And that's
Cause
why
like if the dad is like 50 something and the son is like 30 something, I mean, you know.
that's why I am the way I am. Um, that's why I am the way I am because I'm like, listen, y'all, like sometimes I have to like I've had different men that I had to like they ask, yo, BMT, what do you think? No. Like she's still growing. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody that can keep pace with you. Not that you have to like you want your mate to be able to keep pace with you. Not still trying to learn how to ride their bike on the curb. You ready to get on the race, you ready to get on the highway. But I'm like, yo, why are you talking to
Hold
her?
on.
Oh,
What's creepy, JBS? I'm 42. So if I date a 35-year-old or a 50-year-old, how is that creepy?
like
That's not creepy. It would be creepy if I dated a 25-year-old. That might be a little but if I date a 50-year-old or a 35-year-old, that is essentially the daddy or the son. No, I would not date a father and a son. Well, no, I would not date a father and a son. So don't take it as such. Go ahead.
so you're gonna have some people. What's going on, Don Juan? The Don Juan show.
Child boo. I hope that motherfucker rots in prison. Like, seriously.
But the thing about it is, if you have it where men are trying to fight to be able to have access to young women that are teens, you're setting yourself up for failure. Understand this: it does not have to be the parents that come after you. Anybody in the community can call the police on you. How do we know this shit? I mean, literally, one guy, I kid you not, he was dating a girl who was 17. Even
How
though at
old?
the
Wait, how old was he?
he was 27, she was 17.
Uh-uh.
Right?
But you know what? When I was 18, I was like freshly 18. I was dating someone who was 29. So,
So what happened was when they went to a restaurant, guess what? Guess what the hostess did? The hostess called the police. Then after that, another time when they went out when they went out to the park and they were sitting there hugging up and kissing, guess what? Another person called the police. He had the police called on him 8 times. After a while, he was like, "This shit is not fucking worth it." Because I keep on dealing with the police. And then what's bad about it was he had to deal with literally people just felt uncomfortable. It's not like so. I mean, y'all can try to course
But
it.
I definitely think it speaks to a level of maturity. And when I see men, you know, constantly talk about their reasoning why I guess they want a younger woman is because, I've been seeing this statement going around a lot lately, and it irritates my soul because a lot of them sound like sheep and they don't even realize it. Is when they say fit, feminine, cooperative, fit, feminine, cooperative, fit, feminine, cooperative. So I guess they feel that a younger woman would be more in shape in general, because a 20-year-old can go out and knock back 10 drinks and still be skinny the next morning. Um, and cooperative because they're still learning about a lot of different things. Whereas a woman that would be, so that's why it would speak more so to the maturity level of that man. So I guess back to R. Kelly, wasn't it said that he was like a second grade reading level or something like that? So if he was quote unquote immature, and this is not a defense for him, but I guess if he had an immature mindset, that's why he went after these young girls.
Like he was paying for them, he was transporting them, and he was having parties and different things.
We not here doing the whataboutism, John Juan. We not here for the whataboutism. We don't care about Jeffrey Weinstein or Harvey, whatever. Them motherfuckers. Like, we're talking about R. Kelly.
Now the thing about it is, again, this motherfucker is literally, and again, this is why I say it's about control. It's about being,
Absolutely. That's all
it's
it
about
is
dominant.
control. Absolutely.
That's why I say what I say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about control and dominance. This motherfucker was just that fucked up, man. I got to be very mindful about these type of
But
people.
with that being said, these same men that think that they can maybe get away with it, then maybe some other celebrities that are getting away with it, you can't. You're not R. Kelly, you're not Jeffrey Epstein or Harvey Weinstein or whoever whataboutism you want to put in front of that. You're not them. So that doesn't mean that you can get away with it. And I mean, I look and at the same time, that's why I do think it's a maturity level.
Let me, Jay, if you want to get off, I'm gonna hear what this Don Juan guy. I'm
Well,
gonna say,
I'm here. I mean,
okay,
I'm here. If I slide off, well, what time is it? 4 o'clock.
we got time to,
I'm
'cause
just, I'm here. I got time for the bullshit. I'm
let's
here.
hear. I told you there are people who believe R. Kelly is a innocent man, and somewhere in their mind in Babylon they believe, and I don't. But you know what? That's why I know he. That's why he was confused. It's his sons. He can't take his sons and his children with him. His fucked up and had children. And the thing about it is, what like literally, y'all, this man would be outside of the high school, and the principal had to tell him, "Yo, you're not supposed to be here. I don't give a damn who you are." He used to go to Subway and McDonald's. It's on camera. It's on like y'all. They do have cameras at McDonald's in Chicago, and it was literally he was out there.
So, someone said he could also be trying to recapture the innocence that he lost when he was molested by his sister. I didn't hear that story, but I'm just gonna say, at what point? How can I put it? I mean, that's some shit that should have been worked out in therapy. You know what I mean? It's not fair to say, oh, well, I'm doing this because I was molested by my
Yeah,
dad or my sister or my
but
whoever.
but
You know what I
accountability is
mean?
accountability.
Like,
Yeah, but accountability is accountability. Like I get it. There's people who had fucked up backgrounds, but that still doesn't give you a right to do what the hell you're doing. I get what they're saying, but you still gotta hold that person's feet to the fire. Um, look what you're doing. You know what's up, Dom?
BMT, what's happening?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Hot damn, I just came in. I just came in. I know I probably missed a little bit, but I seen we was talking about Kels.
Right now, oh,
So
go ahead. Go ahead. I know you're saying that R. Kelly is innocent. How do you feel about men who want to sleep with 17-year-old girls or 16-year-old girls? So long as they say they is that? Do you think that's a consenting age or no? Okay, because he's gone. I didn't kick him. BMT did not kick him.
I swear it wasn't my fault. I ain't do nothing. I'm just sitting here typing.
I'm at. Listen, listen. I'm about to go. I'm about to end the show anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Like I said, but other than that, you guys, like I said, Mama, Mama Rain ain't shit. That gal need to sit out. Listen.
Yep. Yep. Always. Always. They really do. They really do. That's why, Mama Rain, I don't know how long you've been here with us in this fuckery. However, I have been calling these YouTube Negroes out for a long time. I have sat here and said that motherfucker's a predator. He's an abuser. He's this. He's that. And do you know how many times I am
Talking to
10?
Don. I was fine talking to Don.
I think I am like 10-1 at this point. Like
Well,
it's just amazing how when anybody start going hard for, I never go hard for any celebrity, like ever. I don't understand people when they start going hard for people they don't know. I really start side-eyeing that shit. Because at the end of the day, what R. Kelly or Jay-Z or hell, Beyonce, Jada, what's the other one that niggas get mad about now? Jada Pinkett, all of them, what they eat don't make me shit. So I don't go hard for any of these people. You know, so
right.
you are right. Predators protect predators, and on that note, that is a perfect way to place to stop.
So that's what we'll end it. Shout out to Mama Rain for definitely dropping that word of wisdom. Predators will protect predators. Fellas, if you see a man talking about consensual age, stop him in his tracks. Say, yo, bro, let's not do that. Let's not entertain that. Shout out to Don Juan Show for coming on up. Definitely hope to get to have a conversation with you sometime, brother. Um, Shout out to everybody who came through. I know y'all can put in the likes or dislikes. We will see what y'all want to put in, what y'all feel. I know the dislikers. We already know who y'all are. Y'all dislike us every other damn time. Um, but other than that, you guys, we'll definitely see you guys later. Leave that consent shit alone. Leave it alone, man.
If you gotta ask, she too young. Anyway.
Thank you. If you got to ask, it's not worth it, man. It's not. If you got to second guess it, it's not worth it. Hang on. Don came back. Don, are you back?
yeah. I think I was having a little issue with my device, so hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Cool. I was saying I wound up coming in, I guess, on y'all was already, you know what I'm saying? I know I missed a little bit. But the topic of discussion was she was R. Kelly,
Okay,
right?
so
So I wanted to ask you a question before we get into this discussion, because I don't recall ever seeing you a video about this. So did when Jeffrey Epstein was charged, did you do a video about that?
long time ago.
You did?
Yep, long time ago.
I never seen it, so that's why I was asking.
Weinstein, all of them. We've talked about it. We've talked about it.
And who are you? What's your name? J Low Value. Okay, I ain't never talked to you before, but I'm gonna say this. I feel as though I don't have a problem with accountability, and I think it's a good thing, right? But with that being stated, I think if we go hold R. Kelly accountable, then we also got to hold everyone else that played a part into his shit accountable too, right? We all know the stories with Aaliyah and whatnot, and what wound up transpiring from that. her parents, and I really, it's kind of hard to even talk about this without Aaliyah even actually coming out and giving her part on it, because she never actually stated anything about it. But with that being stated, her parents actually felt
I
as
mean,
though
she's
at
dead,
some
so
point
she
in
can't
time,
talk.
her parents actually, they went after Kelly, and rather than actually charging him with criminal charges, they wanted him to sign his rights over and publishing over them so they can get paid, right?
That was
So
they never had the sentence.
so if we talking accountability, then let's hold everybody accountable, not just Kelly. And then with Kels, they charged him with some shit that they ain't even charged Jeffrey Epstein with. He was
Wait,
taking motherfucking hot damn his girlfriends with him on shows. This nigga Jeffrey Epstein was taking hot damn little girls out the country.
okay.
So huh?
So let's react to facts. So all right. So who's in our community? R. Kelly or Epstein?
I didn't hear you say who what?
Who is in our community? R. Kelly or Epstein?
No, we talking about accountability. We
No,
ain't
no, no,
talking
no,
about
no,
who in
no,
the
no, no, no,
community.
no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
because when I came
The,
We're
in,
the
you
talking
said
show,
about
the show, the show
accountability.
is about R. Kelly, though.
we're talking about
Right. And
okay.
but and you said accountability, right? You was talking about holding
Now
people
hold on.
accountable.
Now hold on. So let me ask you. Listen to you. White people were already going after Epstein. Black people. They were already going after him. White people are going after him. Right now, it should be black people going after R. Kelly. So why are we having the pitchforks for R. Kelly?
Do you have the
Well,
show on? First of all, Don, do you have the show on in the background? It's a terrible echo.
no, I don't.
Okay. So the
Is it
thing
is it
about
an
it,
echo on my part? Do I need to mute? I guess when you're talking.
it's not. Now, one of the things about it is we have to learn to actually just focus on what's in our vicinity. And when we have it where men are talking about consensual age, I'm only focused on in my proximity of my community. And that literally is men talking about consensual age, women talking about, hey, she's ready to be a woman and shit. I'm focused on those people. I'm focused on R. Kelly. R. Kelly, he wasn't going after white girls. He wasn't going after white people predominantly. Hell, he wasn't really going after them. He was going after black people. That's who he was going after because nobody gives a fuck what happens to black people, especially black adolescents. So we're looking at this with R. Kelly and we're trying to ask the thing because see, we know he was going after people that he could throw money at them. That's what men of power do. They go after people that they could easily settle in court with. Because what's $100,000 or like 500,000 to him? That ain't nothing. That's chump change.
Well, now his net worth is negative $2 million. So there's that.
Yeah. So I think he's more poor than DMX is. His shit ain't worth nothing. Exactly, JBS. Like Epstein is a white folks problem, which they took care of when they became a big problem. For certain people, R. Kelly is a black folks problem. That's why I'm only talking about what my vicinity. I don't like
Okay.
necessarily like. So go ahead.
R. Kelly is a black folks problem that black folks have known about what he was doing for over 25 years, and they ain't had a goddamn thing to say about it then. The only reason we actually talking about it now is because goddamn these charges, how they trying to railroad R. Kelly, right? They
Oh no
trying to
no no
use
no
him
no!
and make R. Kelly out an example,
Hold
right?
on,
Despite everything else Jeffrey
You think
Epstein
black
was
people
there.
don't say nothing
This
about it?
nigga had a whole island where it won't nothing but young girls. And everybody fucking
Why
knew
you
it.
keep talking about? You keep jumping over to a billionaire. R. Kelly was never no
Let
billionaire.
me tell you why I'm talking about it. I'm
You
talking
keep
about it, and I'm keep referring back to Jeffrey Epstein solely
why?
because he was a predator, just like y'all trying to say that R. Kelly was, and also the fact that his charges was less than R. Kelly's, right? This dude had people in high places who was actually Bill Clinton. They said everybody who went to that island, goddamn, had some pedophile tendencies. And we ain't talking about that. So I don't really care what the color is. If it's a predator, it's a predator. But if it's in my community, our community, or the white folks community, it's no difference when we're talking about accountability.
And so, okay, so let's look at this. So when R. Kelly came out with that shit, first of all, that movie instantaneously, so that movie instantaneously, it actually had it where the police were literally saying, if you are sharing that movie, and Jay, let me know if I'm wrong about that. If you're sharing that movie, you are sharing incriminating child pornography. Is that not what they said?
That is true. That's something that just came into effect a few years ago. I remember seeing that movie. Oh God. I mean, I knew he was trash 20 years ago.
Exactly. So
Unfortunately, like I said earlier, and I know you said you weren't here at the beginning of the broadcast, but what I said earlier is that a lot of times it takes years and years and years for charges to be brought against anyone. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Epstein, whoever. It takes a long time for charges to be brought against people for years and years because they have to they're building a case. And it's like, and to be honest, that video where he was peeing on that young girl, that shit was like in the 90s. It was very grainy. Like the whole counter argument was, and again, like we said earlier, different time period, doesn't make it okay looking back. But it was like, is that really him? Oh, I don't know. Now everybody got the computer. Everyone has the internet. It's so much easier
Technology got better.
Right. It's so much easier to catch people in the act of doing certain things. Whereas back in those days, 90% of it was their word against his word against her word. And because he was the celebrity, even now, like, since you want to bring up other people, even now with Bill Cosby, like, it was like, oh, well, they're lying. Why? Because it's not on video. So now it takes so many people to collaborate the same story for them to even bring charges against people.
So when we say that, like, so when we say that, we're looking at it about, well, when we're talking about accountability is accountability. And I'm listening to some of y'all in the chat and some of y'all here. Then I'm going to hold the men that are saying that as long as they're consensual age, I'm going to look at y'all as unaccountable people. Because you're talking about sleeping with somebody of a consenting age that literally cannot do nothing that an adult can do.
And yes, should the parents be, since we're talking about accountability, the manosphere's favorite fucking word, should the parents be held accountable? Absolutely. They should be. However,
it's no however there. It's no however.
Absolutely is a however.
It's no however.
You are a grown man. If you are a grown man, you should not be sleeping with young girls, regardless what the parents do or say or brought them over there. You, as a grown man, should not be facilitating this. Like, period.
Absolutely right. But I'm gonna use you for an example. Let's say you have
nigga, don't use me.
I'm gonna use you. I'm gonna use you. Let's say you got a 16-year-old daughter, right? And your 16-year-old daughter is 14. Actually is dating a 24-year-old man, right? And you knew about it, right? Are you gonna actually ask this nigga to sign over his publishing, or do you want to see this nigga under the jail?
I would want to see him under the jail. Now,
all right,
fair, I would not. I'm going to answer your question. So to be fair, I would not be bringing her over to that motherfucker house. No. So like I said, that part, yes, the parents should be held accountable. But at the same time, the same 27-year-old man is a disgusting piece of shit.
Let me ask you, so has a victim before this trial actually took place? Because I think they trying to actually railroad. So has a victim actually came out and said anything about R. Kelly actually did something to him? Or did they wait till this trial actually got started and then they start pulling witnesses out of all everywhere like they did Bill Cosby? I mean, let me know. Let me know. Before the charges, no. That came about after the charges was brought about, and the motherfuckers how they did that shit. That was like some fishing expedition trying to charge people. So before then, has any victim ever came out and spoke out against R. Kelly? Has that ever happened?
Surviving R. Kelly, there was a whole documentary about it.
No. Okay, 25 years. Let's go 25 years back then. Surviving R. Kelly just came out what, 2 years ago?
So okay, let's hit it. Let's hit it up there. Hold on, let me hit you up right there. There's a reason why is it when a few artists, even before DMX died, he said a lot of artists did not want to fuck with R. Kelly because the shit he would bring into the studio was young adolescents, and they said, "Yo, get that shit out of here, bro." So DMX, as high as he is, had enough sense to say, "Yo, R. Kelly was fucked up," and that was before he died. So if he was saying that, and other artists were like, "Yo, man, like, no, there must have been a reason why they stopped fucking with him, or that they don't count. They don't count." Or what about when K Michelle? What about when K Michelle got on TV and they said, "What was it like at R. Kelly?" R. Kelly had girls in cages and doing all kind of crazy shit. She was on TV talking about that. They said, "Would you ever go back?" "Oh, I don't know if I'll go back to his house." So you had people literally talking about the crazy, fucked up shit. See, the one thing R. Kelly had common sense on that was fucked up, he knew, if I'm gonna do fucked up shit, do it to black people. So long as I don't touch white people's children. That was the fucked up thing about it. He knew he would get away with that with black people.
BMT, you need to stop with that, man. Goddamn, maybe he won't attract the
I don't like
goddamn
that.
white people.
I call
A person gonna go after what they're attracted to. You don't know. And I've never seen R. Kelly with a white girl. I've never seen R. Kelly with a white girl, so that maybe that won't his thing. So that you trying to make it seem like he specifically target black women, young girl, black young underage girls, solely because they wouldn't come to court and testify.
So he did. He did.
Yeah. And going back to what you said, right? I can say something about you that don't make it true, right? I can say, you know what, BMT a fucked up ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? Goddamn, and I ain't fucking with him no more. That's my opinion. Goddamn, Rick James came out and made a song where he was a super freak, right? Motherfuckers knew how freaky this nigga was. He goddamn went to prison for goddamn having the slut tie the girl up to his bedroom. So said that to say this. Motherfuckers knew what R. Kelly was doing 25 years ago and didn't have a problem with it. Even the parents, what I don't know, Azalea, whatever these girls is, I don't know their names, but they parents, I think Tasha K did an interview with them. Them motherfuckers was dropping their daughter off at R. Kelly house. So, I mean, so what is you saying? If we talk about accountability, let's talk about accountability. But with that being stated, I haven't seen a victim that actually came out until goddamn this whole, Me Too movement. Before this whole Me Too movement, won't no victims or people coming out and saying R. Kelly molested. That shit ain't happened despite seeing the tape. Despite seeing the tape over 25 years ago, won't nobody coming out before this Me Too movement saying R. Kelly a predator.
You want to know what it's called? It's called settlement. And the thing about it is, when you have money, you can settle things before they go public. You pay a PR team to keep things from going loud and hot, and you pay people to make things go away. That's how people who have money, that's how they operate. So when you have it where after a while you can't really afford to pay people for your fucked up deviancy, guess what? Then they're not obligated to keep their mouths closed. So they start doing, "Yo, fuck this shit, bro, because you're not paying me anymore to hold your secrets or hold your skeletons. So guess what? Yo, motherfucker, I'm gonna drop the dime on you. Since you're paying the money to go and let all that shit go, because you're saying ain't nobody came out. Well, hold the fuck up, nigga. Like, if nobody ain't come out, then why is there so many goddamn settlements with goddamn interns and young adolescents that this motherfucker literally has under his belt? This motherfucker literally had it where doggone interns were young girls, and literally they had charges brought up on him, because literally he kept on trying to fuck them. Like I said, why is there goddamn videotape at McDonald's with this nigga going to McDonald's trying to get young people in his truck?
Why? I'm not. excusing his
you weren't.
behavior, but
You
what I'm
weren't. No,
saying
you
is,
weren't.
if we holding R. Kelly accountable, let's hold everybody fucking accountable, right? If you went to go and drop your goddamn daughter off at this man's house, you should goddamn be getting the same goddamn time that he getting. Same thing with goddamn Jeffrey Epstein. Then that's another
Why
thing.
are you keep talking about
How
Jeffrey Epstein?
how
Why
I'm
do
gonna
you keep talking about
tell you
Jeffrey
why.
Epstein?
He had
Why
a whole
do
island
you're
on
not
where
Jeffrey
goddamn
Epstein?
little kids was
What,
goddamn getting
what,
touched, fondled,
you're
and
allowed, and
molested.
guess what? So you okay? So by that logic, so we should literally put R. Kelly to death.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
say had them
No,
excuse his
no, no,
behavior. What
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
is
You're
this
going with
man just
Jeffrey.
wind up getting charges.
So we
They
should put it
using
to
R.
death.
Kelly for an example,
Do
right?
you want to
Same
use
thing they
Jeffrey
did to
Epstein?
the Jack
Do you want to
Johnson.
use Jeffrey
They
Epstein?
got the
So
same
by
thing they
that
did to the
logic,
boxer
we
Jack
should put
Johnson,
it
who
to
was
death.
fucking all them white women. They got
So
them
we
fucked
should put
around
it.
and killed
Why
that
are you
man, had
talking
them just
about
because he
talking
was
about the
taking
white
women
man's
with
problem?
him from state to state.
Tell me, what white man was making a song about AIDS ain't nothing but a number?
I just want to know who was sticking up for Jeffrey Epstein in the
I
first
don't
place.
I don't listen to white people music.
Okay, hey bro, speak. What you got to say?
Yeah, okay. The whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein is simple. That was white people's problem. And when it somebody said in the chat, when it became a problem, they dealt with him. You don't see Jeffrey Epstein no more. They dealt with him. The only difference between R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein, when white people wanted to get rid of him, they got rid of him. When they black people wanted to get rid of him, R. Kelly, they had to have white people to go get rid of him. See, the point of it is that if you want to talk about accountability, it's not even a issue to compare the two, because white people had to solve their problems and then had to solve our problems, when this whole thing with R. Kelly should have been handled by us a long time ago. Now, Don, I agree with you on the accountability part. Everybody who knew from the start of Aaliyah to now, yes, every single one of them motherfuckers, even these artists that knew and seen the shit that R. Kelly was doing, and they didn't report it, they didn't try to do nothing to this guy. Yeah, they are accountable. And I believe a lot of them should be in prison right now. Are they going to go to prison? No, we know that's not going to happen. So, yes, but at the end of the day, it is accountability problem on our end as black people, because R. Kelly shouldn't have took white people to deal with it. It should have been us dealing with it. But because he was famous, because a whole lot of people took money over their children, that's why R. Kelly was able to do what he did for the longest time. But when the money ran out, like BMT said, that's when everybody started talking. Now, me personally, I think that's bullshit. When the money run low, now you want to come after this guy. That's bullshit. That means you're not a victim. You was an opportunist. Now, for the ones that generally were victims and did try to talk, and there were, like BMT said, there was an article that I remember reading. There were literally hundreds of allegations brought up against R. Kelly, but either they were settled out of court, or they didn't have no legal representation strong enough to go after R. Kelly, because he had lawyers. The record companies had lawyers to make sure that R. Kelly stay out, because he was the money man. But once he stopped being the money man, they let everything go. So at the end of the day, we can talk about Epstein all you want, how you can talk about the other guy all you want, but the same thing applies. When white people had a problem with him, they dealt with him. When black people had a problem against us, the white people had to deal with it. That's the difference. So
That's
at
kind
the
of
end
my
of the,
point though. That's kind of my
but
point. Like
there's no
they
there's
didn't
no
see it. The
No,
parents didn't see it as
there,
a problem. That's my
I
point.
know.
They didn't see it as a problem.
So talking about Epstein,
Hold up. First of all, hold on. Wait. Pause. First of all, pause. The parents did see it as a problem is having the legal team to fight against a person who has a bigger, stronger legal team. That's the thing about it. So when you're saying people have a problem, you're lying because literally there were people that did have a
Who was
problem.
the parents? Who was the victim of the parents that had a problem with it? BMT.
There were plenty of parents that had problems.
Well, name
It's
two of them
called
then.
no. There was actually plenty of time. Hold up. First
I'm
of all,
saying name two of them. You saying
first
it's
of all,
plenty? Just name two of them then.
first of all, Tracy. There's a girl named Tracy. Actually, you want to go and pull up the stuff? You want to go and pull up the
Yeah,
stuff? Let's go ahead and do that.
absolutely.
I'm on my phone, and I'm going.
well,
People
I
that
bring this up too.
took R. Kelly to court. Let's see. Let's see. The history of R.K.'s legal allegations against him. Let's find out. 1994. That was an issue. 96. That
No,
was
no,
an
no, no.
issue.
I said who were the victims of the parent?
They
Who
don't
are the
have
victims'
to
parents
tell
that
you.
actually you said had a problem
You
with?
do know when you go to court, they don't have to give you names of children, right? You do know that, right?
You do know they also trump up charges too, right? Just to see what it stick. You do know that too, right?
So you're not understanding. They don't give you names of children at court cases.
In general, victims don't necessarily get named, even if they're even if they are of age.
Like this guy
Victims
asking
don't
for like
necessarily get named
victim names and shit. Like
unless they
I
want to name themselves. So, like
Right.
Donald Trump has a bunch of rape cases against him, and some of the women have not been named because of the harassment behind it. So, yes, women do not have to be. I should say, men as well. People do not have to be named in rape in sexual assault. Sexual assault cases.
So let me read this. Let me read this, Jay. 2001, sued by intern Tracy Sampson, sued R. Kelly, accusing him of inducing her into an indecent sexual relationship when she was 17. This was in 2001. The woman of a former intern of Epic Records, just like we said, his record label said she was treated as his personal sex object, cast aside. He often tries to control. He also tried to control every aspect of her life. In 2002, two more court cases in April and in May. Kelly is sued by Patrice Jones, a Chicago woman who claimed he impregnated her when she was underage, and she was forced to have an abortion. Montana Woods also sued Kelly, alleging that he videotaped them having sex without her knowledge. The recording was allegedly circulated on a sex tape.
What
What
year
is
does it specify the year? Does it specify the years that this happened?
That don't even matter because what you're saying, BMT, what you saying is sued. You're not saying criminally charges pressed. You ain't saying that. You saying sued. So they
Oh
didn't
my
have a
God.
problem with it to actually press charges.
Oh
They
my
just
God.
wanted money out of it.
The
Now, with that being
goalpost
stated, you
forever.
said this girl said she got
The
pregnated
goalpost
and got there and
forever.
was forced to have an abortion. Nobody can make you have an abortion or make you do something you don't want to do.
Yo, this dude just shot us.
Nobody can make you do that.
Wait. You just said what? You said nobody
I
can make
said
it.
what you just read. You said it was a woman who got pregnant by R. Kelly and was forced to have an abortion. Nobody can goddamn make you have an abortion. Okay? Did R. Kelly pull a 45 out, put it to her head, and take her to the
He
what's
could
that?
have.
Parenthood?
He could have.
Planned Parenthood? Do he do
Okay,
that? No. What you said was he was sued. And when you can sue somebody, you can civilly sue somebody without
let's go.
charges being pressed. I didn't hear you
So
read anything about charges being pressed.
this is now. I want you to understand. This is how some black men think, or some men think. First of all, whenever you go to an abortion clinic, right, the doctor will ask you, "Are you being pressured or forced into having an abortion?" They will ask you that because they know family members and different people will force women into having an abortion. They will threaten their
They
lives.
also ask you that when you're getting on birth control too.
So literally, they will ask you these kind of questions when you go to go get Plan B pills and stuff.
If
They're like,
anyone is forced, yes.
is somebody doing it? Mind you, I remember back then there was a song by 21 Savage and Future where he said, force my bitch to swallow a Plan B. Now, when you have songs of stuff like that, where you're making statements like that, you're kind of like, damn. Like, and mind you, didn't Rick Ross get in trouble for also making a statement of a song like that before? And he had to also go to court
You
about
know
that.
who the least problematic rapper is out? I would have to say, and when I say out, I'm talking like just the last 10, 15 years or so. Lil Jon. Of all the motherfuckers in the world, I think Lil Jon, if you listen to his work, he always asks for permission and consent.
Yep, he does.
Lil Jon is like the least problematic out of his lyrics. And I would have to say Snoop Dogg, I mean, even though he was out at his height in the 90s, he's probably also not problematic these days. Like those, you don't ever hear about them motherfuckers on some fuck shit. But anyway, yes, they ask you that when you're, even when you're pregnant or when you're birth control, any reproductive issues, they do ask if you're being forced or have you been coerced? Do you want to do this?
Are you in fear of your life?
And the irony is, which is off topic, the irony is they don't ask these questions to men when they get a vasectomy. But when I had a conversation about possibly getting my tubes tied, even though I wasn't getting my tubes tied, the first question she asked me was, "Oh, is anyone trying to force you to do this?" I'm like,
they will ask you, "Are you in fear of your life?" So when somebody makes a statement, hey, that's like we heard the time when somebody says, nobody can force you to give oral sex. And we're like, what?
Yes, the fuck they can, because I got my head pushed down onto someone's dick.
So understand that.
Get the fuck out of here. So you tell him, did you scream out, rape, help, somebody help me. He making me suck his dick. Did you do that?
I was at my house, you piece of shit.
Okay, did you call the police after it happened?
I was 15. Stop it.
Okay, see, that's the shit that I'm talking about. You can't say this shit, goddamn, and can't nobody make you get no abortion. I don't care what you say. Not in this day and time. This is the Me Too movement. Matter of fact, that's the only reason why goddamn Kelly got charged was because of the Me Too movement. But with that being stated, no one can make you get an abortion. If she took herself to that Planned Parenthood and got, it probably was something like this. Kelly might have goddamn gave her proposition and said, you know what? I ain't fucking with you no more. If you had this baby, I told you I'm married. I don't want no more kids. Goddamn it.
And so you can't.
Basically, he's the rapist of the family.
So you guys, you cannot. I told y'all, you can't.
He just basically said that I was lying or not raped or that didn't happen. Okay, he's definitely, like Koja said, he's the motherfucker. When they say Uncle so and so is coming over to cover yourself up, little girl, that's Uncle so and so.
When you hear somebody saying, "Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this: if you take a girl for a ride in a car, in a dark road, and you say, bitch, either you give me oral sex or you get out," that's rape. That is rape. Because literally, you are forcing them into a situation that is sexual battery. Well, first of all, you're penetrating them, and forcing them against their will. That's coercion. Like, there's so many things that this is why I'm
saying. Or if
they
push your head down and they hold your head down there, and you're a child and you're a small teenager and they're bigger than you, and they can just hold your head down there. I mean, come on. Stop. Let's not act like that shit don't happen.
Like these kind of things, I'm telling y'all. I like I said.
And sometimes it doesn't even. It's even not necessarily violence. He could have forced her with an abortion and say, "Oh, well, if you don't have this abortion, I will make it." Being that again, people use their celebrity and their status against you. So he could have said, "Well, if you have this baby, I'm gonna make it so you will never work again." Or you'll never be able to graduate, or you'll never be able to do X, Y, and Z. That's how they force people.
Like let's put it like this. Let's try this one. I'm using from a female, from a woman. Excuse me. Nicki Minaj is using her celebrity influence and money to doggone harass and target the victim of her child's father, the woman that her husband victimized and assaulted. She's trying to force her to drop charges on her husband. Guess what? The woman now can prove it and prove that other people, Nikki, is paying to do that. And guess what? Guess what's happening? Now Nikki and her husband are now in hot water because now they're found out that they are literally harassing a woman about them and literally threatening her and her life. So now we're in an era where it doesn't matter about your money or your political affiliation or anything. Now it's where, guess what? So long as you can get the proper stuff together. See, back then, no one would believe you. It was hard for people. But now we're in the same thing. I know, Don, but like I said, Ho said, hey, you got to get the hell on. So you can force people. People can be forced. Same way as a lot of people say, oh man, they forced me to do this, they forced me to do that. Same thing. Like I said, you're gonna have where some people believe in that consensual stuff. I never could understand why some men are literally going off of the doggone thing with the consent.
So I have a question for Bro Speak and you, Joe. Now that we have cooler, calmer, normal people on here, you as a man or men in your younger-ish days, if a woman didn't feel comfortable, like let's say I was about to get down, and a woman didn't feel comfortable, I am assuming that both of you were decent people. And did you stop or did you continue?
Yeah, I stopped. Well, I can't really say when I was a
Yeah,
teenager.
I'm not chancing that shit.
But
I'm not chancing
if,
that.
even with my ex, if she didn't feel comfortable with something, we stop it because I'm not gonna force her to do anything she don't want to do. That's just out of kick
Right.
for her. So
So
it
right,
was
that's what I'm saying. Even in a relationship, you still was like, nah,
right.
chill this
With
time.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just any woman that I've dealt with, it's like you're not comfortable. We can stop. I have no problem, and there's no hard feelings. Well, maybe
At the moment, there might
it
be.
may at the moment, maybe yeah, that's a hard feeling, but after that, it is what it is. So, I mean, to the other guy's point, the problem is we've had a lot of females in this Me Too era that have lied and said some things that really you be looking at them like they're insane.
Yes, you have to stop if you're married. No is no if you're married, single, whatever. No. What? I hope you're being facetious with that. Yes, if you're married, you have to stop.
They let you know that in the military, if
Yep.
your wife or spouse were to say stop, let's say, and this is the thing about it, I don't get it because if your woman says stop, and I'm not sure if some of y'all men can feel it, as the woman starts to dry up down there.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And sometimes it don't even be like anything. Like that's happened even in my current relationship. Like
But
I'm just like, because it wasn't him per se. It was just my body was just like not feeling it no more.
right, so
That's all. It wasn't
like
like a forceful situation. It was just like I'm
I
not
want to
feeling it
say
no
this.
more.
I got to say this before I have to go. So there was a soldier. Remember this story? There was a soldier. Him and his wife. They were all for trying out anal. Okay, she psyched them, got them all hyped for that. They tried it. She said, "Okay, I'm not feeling this shit." He kept on going. He went to sleep and woke up with police at the door saying, "Sir, we need to put on some clothes and you need to come with us." And he was like, "Hey, what am I doing wrong? That's my woman." She had to go to the hospital because her rectum was torn.
What? Exomatic? What? Nigga, what? What are you talking? I'm done. Okay. I'm sorry, Joe. Folks be moving the goalposts to the left, to the right, to the front, to the side. Like,
well, you guys, I will
anyway,
have
it's time to go.
I
I
will have
can't.
another discussion. Y'all
On that
guys,
note, yeah, it's time to go.
y'all guys, I will
What
have
the
another
hell is
discussion.
this?
Shout out to everyone who participated. Shout out to everyone who came
This
through.
is why motherfuckers end up in fucked up situations. Anyway.
I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.